I'm gonna get you copyright claim.
It's
Do
funny how
do do
some
do.
see it. Um, I love how people are getting copyright claimed for covers now. Haven't people like been doing covers for? Oh, there it is. For whatever reason, it's not showing up on my mobile phone. Oh, there it is on my mobile. Just took it a minute. Okay, nice, nice picture. All right, yeah,
It's like with covers, it's like there's always been a thing in music, and you have YouTube musicians doing covers of music, and you shut that down? What? It's just it's the same thing, just on a new medium.
right.
What are you doing? Like, I'm sorry if you think Jonathan Young's metal cover of Let It Go is threatening Disney. You're gonna have to live with it. Uh,
One of the things I thought was interesting was that you actually have to get a. I mean, I guess I should have known, but I didn't really. I guess I hadn't thought about it. You have to get a license. You have to license songs to to do professional karaoke. Like, if you want to be hired to be a karaoke DJ at any type of event, you have to get permission the um, from the license holders to use the karaoke songs at your event. And it's just like, who even knew that? Because I heard a story. I heard a story of somebody getting in trouble because it just so happened one of the one of the uh, executives or whoever and talked to the karaoke DJ about it, and I'm just like, what? Who's even checking that? Which means you probably
it's
kind of need a
very dumb.
license to just DJ music, and I'm thinking that nobody gets a license for those songs they play as as a professional DJ. I'm almost positive.
Like, what sort of credentials do you need to be like, I'm going to put on music? I, I, I don't.
It's all about their. I feel like the people who really need protection from copyright laws are people like, well, us, like people who don't make a lot of money, and like it's a detriment if their content gets diluted or watered down. But really, like,
Yeah,
ain't nobody like there ain't no music company suffering because any of their music is on streaming, or because it's being played at the clubs without their authorization. It's literally not hurting them in any way, shape, or form. It's just like that old South Park episode where it showed like how Kid Rock had to get rid of his pool. He still had his $1 million mansion, but he had to he couldn't afford to maintain his pool anymore. Or Britney Spears could only take one jet to the Grammys, stuff like that.
yeah. It's, it's one of the many things out there where it's like, in theory, this is good. Like these sorts of like regulation type things are good and are designed to should protect people and like the work they do. Instead, they get exploited by those in positions of power to fuck over uh, those who are not.
Right.
That's like that is fucked. Also, your stream is demonetized. Sorry, Mark.
Uh, yeah. I'm not monetized as it is, so I'm working on it though. Just 1,000 more users to go. All right, I think that That's working fine. I can see it in the. There's a bit of a delay, but that's to be expected. So cool. I can stream directly from the XSplit thing, and I don't have to go hunting for. I can put the name and everything in there in the description. Like, oh, hi Maggie. Maggie's Maggie's in the YouTube chat. I didn't see him there.
Oh shit! Hello, hi Maggie. How you doing, bud? Get premium content. Download now before it gets deleted.
So I figured I'd. He said I figured I'd drop in. Yeah. I told Danny, ain't nobody gonna see this. It's the middle of the night. There's nobody online. None of my users are around.
God damn it! This goes against the contract I signed. I will sue. Oh,
Join my Patreon for monthly content that's guaranteed to exist.
me and Chase are going to be filming another one of those Suicide Squad things some point this week.
Excellent.
I am. I need to work on fleshing out my roster of suggestions. But Sirius is like, like massively ahead compared to me. I just haven't felt that motivated, and keep getting distracted with other stuff. I'm doing a massive deep dive into the CBR forums later today.
I
And,
was I was joking. I was joking with him because I was like, he just recently joined my Patreon, and I was like, you now have exclusive access to your own content.
I do like how he was a Patreon thing and will pay you. Whereas it's just me who like just like I'm not. I don't do that. I'm on benefits. I can't afford to. And a chunk of that money is going to be taken out anyway. So
Where's where's the Patreon version of EBT? Surely there's a food stamp version of Patreon that can be utilized. I feel like this is a necessity for the um, mental health of the nation.
yes.
Or you can just give me food stamps. I'm very hungry. Um,
Don't you love how food stamps get demonized by politicians that ended up literally only surviving off of food?
oh,
That's fun.
one of the jokes I've always made is that you can always tell somebody who's been poor their whole life versus somebody who was pretty well off and had to go on food stamps later because they're ashamed to talk about it. They're just like embarrassed by the fact that they had to get on benefits, whereas people who are accustomed, who have been through this before, will show you what they got with their food stamps. When you visit, we're gonna open the fridge, man. Check this out. I remember well, the last time we were on benefits, I was like, really, I was doing that. I was like, man, we haven't had food in this house like this in a long time. Check this out. So yeah,
Leeching off of big government. How dare you? Off of small government. I don't know. I'm tired.
Maggie said people think food stamps are bad. Yeah. Uh, oh yeah, politicians demonize food stamps all the time. Uh,
Including many who are on them, which is,
they were on those same benefits.
hypocrisy is, the hypocrisy is fun. And over here, you have shit like Boris Johnson currently being like, I want to cut universal credit system that I have just gotten on, uh, and I'm just like, please don't do that.
What I love when
Uh,
it's like a 67-year-old who's starts talking about how he made his way in life, and it's just like, well, yeah, 60 years ago, you could go to the corner store, the corner five and dime, and get the shopkeeper to give you a job sweeping floors. And you could use that money to buy yourself milk and comic books. That's not really a thing you can do anymore. That's not how society
uh,
functions. My wife is singing for the public. Let them know what you sound
but,
like, baby. Let them know what you sound like, baby.
Oh yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing tonight?
So silly. But yeah,
uh,
so I think this is good. This is going to be. I should probably make this unlisted, or I could leave it there. It don't matter. I guess it don't matter. Let my
uh, unlist it, then edit it, and have it be like Annie and Mark food
yeah.
stamps,
This was a
and
deep.
on Patreon.
This is our, our exclusive Patreon content where we discuss social inequity. I'm sure that'll get them. That'll drive them right to my door. We had all the nerd discussion before I went live. uh,
What was that?
we had all the nerd discussion before we went live. When we went live, we just started discussing social inequity.
Yeah, I should have saved the Ghostbusters discourse. Uh,
Why
talk
was
about
yeah?
why Janos is the best character, uh,
Why
and
was I not expecting
why
someone to show up? Oh, I was not expecting anyone to show up because it's middle of the night and I was just testing this. We're gonna go live. I guess if anybody's listening, besides Maggie, actually Maggie's the only one here. But if anyone's watches this later, I guess I'll leave it up. It's a cool thumbnail. I'm gonna go live on Star Trek Day, probably through this integration right here via my Discord. And if you want to join the Discord and participate in the discussion, you can. And I will try to integrate the live stream into this. I was gonna be on camera, but it looks like that might be too many things running at once for my computer to handle. So hopefully I can just show the live stream here and we can watch it together.
which day is Star Trek Day again?
That is
Like,
September 8th, I think. September 8th.
okay,
Let me double check.
uh,
Star Trek Day live stream.
should be good. I think. I have an appointment on this. Well, I don't know if I'll be around
Hmm?
on that day. But
No.
the 8th should be fine.
You can check the. It starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Uh, Whatever that is. I put that in. It showed up in your subscription box. Oh, okay. Let's see. I'll put EPM EST in the Discord, and it should give you a thing to convert that. Um, but yeah, you can look at the StarTrek.com/day and see panel, the panels that they're going to have that day. It's going to be 2 hours, so you know whether or not it's going to be spoilerific. First, you have yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to learning more about Prodigy and stuff. But yeah,
Like it's gonna be it'll be for like for stuff like Picard, which I won't get to for a long time. So I'll probably be fine.
yeah,
Like
I imagine so. It's a lot. There's a lot of Star Trek. So, and my Star Trek video where I reply to Doomcock should be out by then. So
Ooh, fun. Is your Angry Joe response thing still in development?
it still is. I'm going to go ahead and try and do that next. And just like, caveat that this was a thing I was working on before the pandemic, and I feel like it still needs to be made. I left that comment on his video that I said like, yeah, I'll get this made eventually. But it still needs to be said because it's still like the number one video that comes up, or at least it was here last time I checked. When people look for Rise of Skywalker plot holes, it's like the first one that comes up, and it's just like none of these are a thing. Even just using the content that he seemed to think was appropriate, like the only things that for some reason he seemed to think that the guide was sacrosanct, that was the thing you could use that movie guide. I'm not sure why that was okay. Mostly I can just use the movie to debunk all of those plot holes, and I don't gotta use any extraneous material. But he also used a lot of extraneous material to say that these were plot holes, and it's just like, pick a feature, dude.
Like, at best, usually when people do like, ooh, insert number of plot holes, it's like either they're not plot holes, or they're not issues at all, or they're like very minor nitpicks that can easily be waived or otherwise explained. It's actual gaping plot holes in big budget movies are rare. Uh,
Very.
like,
Like, how does he think? No, how do people know when paying attention to this? And here's the
because
thing that kind of bugged me about his video too is that um, he's like, oh yeah, at least on Google he's on 2, 3, 4, 5. He's the fifth video up there. So, but it's just like he's using a comic book that came out a year or two before the movie as evidence that this movie has a plot hole. And I'm just like, the what now? Didn't you just say the movie had to but then he says in other parts of the video that the movie has to stand at his own, and you can't use any outside material to fix. You can't use any to fix it, but he can use outside material to say it's wrong. Although even using the outside material, he messed up. It was not. It was not the plot hole he thought it was.
uh,
I do enjoy.
being negative brings in the crux.
Yeah, it does. Although I do enjoy when people like really go in hard on a movie to try and bring up all these bad points, because like most of the time that makes me appreciate the movie more, because like sometimes there will be things that I didn't really think twice about, and then when I look at it and I'm just like, oh, that was actually kind of brilliant. That's not something I even noticed. I'll give you an example of something that I thought that this might actually be a complete coincidence, a complete accident. But people lost their minds when the Rise of Skywalker trailer came out, and they were saying uh, when they showed the joke in the trailer, they fly now. Everybody lost their minds, and I'm just like, why is this, why are you, and they were and all over Twitter they were sharing clips of other people flying as if that somehow how proved it somehow, and it's just like, okay, let me look into it. And also they should, and Angry Joe brought this up too. He brought up the the Poe Dameron comic where Poe actually encounters stormtroopers who fly. That was his big damning evidence of a plot hole thing, which, you know, could have just been a retcon, but no, that was a plot hole in his mind. So I went and looked through that whole comic. I read it. Poe does encounter the stormtroopers with jetpacks. Okay. Um, but here was the thing when I went back and like looked at all these examples of people with jetpacks, like we've never seen anything to indicate that um, three. So the two of them saying they fly now with a question mark is fine because like just because Finn was a stormtrooper doesn't mean he was aware of every single unit in the Empire. And the last stormtroopers we saw fly prior to that comic, years before he was born. So, and this unit was also a super secret unit, like a Black Ops team. So there's no reason like this custodian would have knowledge of every single unit in the Empire, especially a Black Ops unit. But my favorite part of when I looked at that scene over and over again, Poe is the only one who doesn't pose that as a question. 3PO says they fly now. Finn says they fly now as a question. And Poe states they fly now. So even the way Poe states it, it's like, yeah, I knew they flew all the time because I've seen it before. I love finding stuff like that.
Like, even if it's not, wasn't really intended that way, like, if it lines up with, like, the way that the canon is structured up to that point, then, you know, neat bonus.
I know, and it might be a complete accident because the joke is they fly now, they fly now, they fly now. And it's just like, yeah, that still works perfectly. So calm your horses. Is that the expression? Calm your horses? I don't think that's it. Hold your horses, calm your
Hold your
something.
horses, cool your jets,
Cool your
whatever.
jets. Calm your breaststrokes. Yeah. So there's the nerd stuff right there. I'll go ahead and end the stream now. So we
Yeah, I didn't realize you hadn't turned it off.
not yet. I had the one nerd thing in there, so it wasn't all social justice warrior stuff. All right.
Yeah, damn SJWs, fucking.
Peace out,
I'll
anyone
hunt them all
watching
down.
this. Maggie's gone too.